Welcome to this week's edition of KB's Bar Talk. We have a special episode this week. It's going to be a sports episode, sports football preseason kickoff. I have two South Carolina football legends in the building today. I've got my man Airese Currie, wide receiver at Clemson, and Syvelle Newton. So we got both sides, former quarterback, wide receiver, jack of all trades at the University of South Carolina. And then, of course, as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Friday the bartender. So before I get to y'all, I'm going to ask my co-host what she's been up to, how she's been doing.
Well, I went to, can I say puff and paint? Is that like legal?
Yes,
or no?
I don't think it's an illegal thing, or they
Right,
wouldn't have advertised it.
It's going on. So.
Okay, I went to a puff and paint today. So puffed and paint. And y'all want to see my painting?
Let's see what
We've
you
been
got.
I think I did
Wow.
such a great job. Look at it! It's not good?
That's what you was hiding the whole
Oh, I
time?
know it is. Well, I thought it was good.
This is
I
my
thought it was
first time
good.
seeing it. I'm sorry. This is a natural reaction. She went, show
that's
me.
all right. That's all right.
I think it's cute.
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
The way you was
Yeah,
trying
we
to
gonna
hide
put
it. We
it-
thought
we
it
put
was
it right
just
here?
bad or
Yeah.
something.
We're gonna sit it right here in the
Y'all
middle.
sit that right there
You
for
can
the
leave
rest
it
of the
right there.
episode.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. Are you sure you want to sit by that the whole episode?
It looked like
pretty.
2 tons or something. What is that?
What is that? Fire?
They're eating the bar out.
Oh, it's the logo.
Okay.
It is the
I
logo.
tried. I don't know. It wasn't.
I mean,
Hey.
it could have been worse. That's
It
the
do
thing.
look like 2 tones. Not that y'all say something, but
do like you said you got spit in the mouth recently, so I mean, I'm sorry.
yeah, this is supposed to be a sports.
I'm sorry. This is sports special.
version,
Sports
yeah.
special.
Man.
Sports special. Nah, I love it. I do love it.
Thank you. I thought I did great.
I
so.
couldn't be more excited about it. I mean, it's not at all what I was expecting. I don't know. I thought you were gonna draw like reindeer or
Porn
something.
or something.
I don't-
Oh yeah.
You said porn?
I don't know. I don't know what.
I didn't think. Okay.
Why would I do
This is a
reindeer?
sports special.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I did today. What y'all do today?
Can't top that. I'm sorry. Good luck.
I worked 9 a.m. training, some school work in between, a one-on-one session after that, 3:30 session, and then after that, I went back to the house and cooked dinner with the wife before I came over here to shoot this with y'all.
Sounds good.
Yeah, man. Pretty much me, it's Sunday, so my Sundays are pretty much out of the gym and, start putting my funeral home tie on. So, got a chance to meet with some families, and that's pretty much it for me.
Why'd you choose to own a funeral home?
Well, not own.
Or-
I don't own. I'm
Yeah.
just directing.
Oh, why?
I mean,
There's
it's
big money
family
in that,
family business. Well, I don't really do it for the money aspect. My family has owned a funeral home all my life, so just right now my uncle's getting a little old, so I decided to put that tie on.
They say that's like the one business that'll never go out of business.
Because people always going to die.
Yeah, they
People always
dying.
gonna- Yeah.
People
Yeah,
always
they
want to
dying.
drink too.
Yeah.
Two things
Yeah.
guaranteed: taxes and death.
Yes.
Yeah, they want to drink, they want to do drugs, and drugs that got fake drugs in it, and it's just a lot of stuff.
Just
going
brings them closer to me. But okay, so we're gonna get to it at the end. What y'all are doing now? But you training and working at the funeral home,
Well,
directing
I'm-
the funeral.
Yeah, I own my own gym, so I
Yeah.
train every day. So
Train. And you say you got
Training is
girls.
just one aspect.
You do it all.
Office manager throughout the day. We have a family medicine private clinic that we own. Do that as well as the training. So a
Nice.
number of things, man. So
Busy
we working.
people.
Yeah.
People. All right, so we ready to get to the actual episodes?
Yes,
Let's get
sir.
it, man.
All right. I'll start out with the first question. So, Airese, you went to Clemson. Syvelle, you went to South Carolina. What was the recruiting process like, and what made you choose those programs respectfully?
You want me to go? You got it.
It don't matter, man.
You
Like,
go
well,
ahead.
for me, it was, being out of Marlboro County, a country boy, we don't really know too much about different cities, and being the number 5 quarterback in the nation, coming out of high school, that was kind of one of those things that I didn't quite understand. I was fortunate to have a receiver that I played with. He was same as me, top in the nation. So I seen that recruiting process and seen all the college coaches and stuff come in and stuff like that. But it really came down to going to Auburn, went there on a visit. Tommy Tuberville didn't know who I was when I first got there. So I was like, but I was committed to Auburn. He didn't even know who I was. So that was crazy. Then I wanted to go to University of Southern California, but Pete Carroll told me basically if you come in, you're not playing quarterback. He told me straight up. So, but I should have probably went there. That was the year they had Reggie Bush and all those guys, stuff like that. Then I end up Clemson, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, last three. So only reason why I had Vanderbilt in the mix is because their head coach coached my brother at Furman. So, but I went on a visit, Clemson. The recruiter, Coach Stocksdale, was pretty. He's the head coach at Middle Tennessee State right now. One of the best recruiters I ever known.
One of the best.
Yeah, one of the best. But pretty much, I went there and I was like, man, ain't nothing to do at Clemson. It ain't nothing.
Yeah,
it's changed a little now, but
it might changed a whole bunch.
But it was nothing to do at Clemson during that time. We talking 2003. I'm old, you know what I'm saying? But you look at it, had Airese and those boys. He was there, and then just to get on campus and be like, nah, this ain't it. Yeah. Come to Columbia, then Demetrius Summers, the number one player in the nation, had decided to go to Carolina at that time. So I was like, well, I'm following him. Yeah. So that's why I went to Carolina.
Okay. And didn't you, if I recall correctly, you put like a Clemson hat on, threw it down?
Yeah, but see, people don't know nothing about that though. But still to this day, I still say I was the first person ever in recruiting history to go on national TV and put a hat on and take it off and throw it. And now you see that's all you
always
see.
Done,
yeah, you see it. But I mean, you could pull the YouTube up. It's there. But I'm like, ain't nobody do it before me. I finally decided to make a decision to attend the University of. I will be signing on Wednesday to the University of South Carolina.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, it was on the news or something. Like you were on TV because I'm a little younger, but I was always a diehard Clemson fan. Yeah. So I'm watching. I'm like, oh shit, he's going to Clemson. Next thing I see, he throws the hat. I was a little tight.
on the way to the news station, I was going to Clemson. That's why my mama was thrown off because my whole speech was written out to go to Clemson.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but then when I got there, I was like, man, I'm going to Carolina.
Yeah.
It was really it really wasn't planned. I was just like, man, in the middle of my speech, I just said, threw the hat on, put the Carolina hat on. That's how it really happened.
Wow.
Man.
That's what's up, dog.
So you just spur of the moment thing.
Spur of the moment thing, man. It's just something told me Carolina, which probably was the worst mistake of my life, but I ended up going to Carolina.
Yeah. Okay, Airese, what I've talked to you in the past about it, but what about your recruiting process?
So my five boiled down to Florida State, UGA, Clemson, Michigan State, and South Carolina. I took the Michigan State visit first. Took that during my senior season in October, because I knew it was going to be cold up there in Michigan State. I was like, I'm not going on that visit in January. I knew I wasn't going to Michigan State anyway, but just for shits and giggles, I was like, let me go up there and see what the Big Ten talking about. Boring as hell. They were playing Northwestern. I had a good time on the recruiting visit, but as far as the actual atmosphere of the game itself, I mean, I felt like I was at a golf match. Yeah, really. I mean, I can't remember who it was that scored or something, but the fans, they got the clapping. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there looking around.
It wasn't an SEC, ACC crowd.
I was like, what is this? But then after that, I think the first visit might have been Florida State. No, I went to UGA first. Went to UGA, and that was a hell of a visit. I enjoyed it. Truth be told, and we'll get to that question later on, but I was going to go to UGA. Yeah. Everybody thought I was going to go to UGA, but I chose Clemson over UGA. But UGA, then Florida State, South Carolina, and then Clemson was how it played out. But the visits all of them were wonderful, man. Just the whole process, you getting the letters to your house, the coaches coming to your, your living room, sitting down, talking to your parents. I remember Lou coming spitting all over my mom's coffee table. I'm like, you just so juicy mouthed. I'm like, man, I just want to tell him swallow that spit. But that was cool, man. It was just the whole process was just wonderful to just be a part of and just, soak it all in. Okay.
And what made you ultimately decide on Clemson?
So it was a few of us, myself, a couple of top players in the state, the country, myself, Roscoe Crosby, who was the number 2 receiver, in the country coming out that year. Ben Hall was like the number 1, number 2 tight end in the country. We kind of all got together on the telephone and was like, hey, we're tired of the talent leaving to go out of the state. You know, it was like, let's keep it in state. And the obvious choice at that particular time was Clemson University.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So that's how I ended up at Clemson.
Sounds good. And I know from knowing you in the past, you grew up track athlete, basketball player, all that too, right?
So basketball was my first true love. I didn't start playing football until my junior year. I didn't pick it back up until my junior year. I got to Columbia, South Carolina. I didn't know anything about Clemson, Carolina football until I got to Columbia, South Carolina. I was a Florida State fan.
Until you get to the state,
Yeah,
it's a whole...
I was a Florida State fan I was a Tar Heel fan when it came to basketball because I'm originally from North Carolina. But yeah, I didn't know anything about none of what that was going on.
All right. I got you.
So what was y'all's best moment? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really just here.
She's the eye candy of the episode.
Go ahead. We got
She's got it.
What was y'all's best moment in college?
That's hard to say.
Yes,
I feel like I had a number of best moments, and they are all tied into some of the other stuff we'll talk about. But scoring my first collegiate touchdown at Carolina, you know, we lost that game. That was my freshman year. We lost that game like 17-14, but that was my first collegiate touchdown. Setting the record for most receptions in the game versus, who do we play? It was at home. I forgot who we played, but I had 12 receptions. Sammy Watkins ended up breaking that record. Playing down in the Orange Bowl against Miami. Nobody expected us to win, but we went down there and smacked Miami. Different stuff like that. Tennessee, playing against University of Tennessee in the Peach Bowl. We were the underdogs in that game. The coach, Fulmer, I think Coach Fulmer was the head coach for Tennessee at that time. He talked so much smack about our team. He was like, the only players they got on their team that could play for this organization is Airese, Currie, and Leroy Hill. Yeah, and them boys took it to heart. I remember Dwayne slapped one of their safeties.
Dwayne. That's
y'all like starting fights now. They like,
I know we're gonna go this year. I know that's good.
All right, let me shut up then.
But yeah, that's just the name of people. So I can't pinpoint just one particular moment Friday.
For me was my coming in as number 5 quarterback in the nation. It was kind of a different transition for me because they moved me to wide receiver when I first got there, and I was like, they promised me they wasn't going to change my position, but as soon as I had a couple big runs at practice, the next thing you know, they were like, okay, we're going to try you at receiver because we had speed. But during that time, we had speed on the receiver with Troy Williamson, those type guys. But I ended up playing receiver. And I say one of my best moments was when they finally moved me back to quarterback at my true position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
We just throwing it back and forth.
We'll go back and forth. Worst moment in college.
Actually, you ain't even got to go first. I know what mine was. I had a couple, man. I would say
in regards to football.
Football.
I'm not saying your girlfriend got pregnant with yours.
Well, mine was more my junior year. My junior year was kind of like that year when coming out. We had a new coach. Coach Spurrier came in, told me, hey, basically told me I wasn't a quarterback.
I know that.
So, I went from being the starting quarterback back to being a receiver again. Not because I lost my position, but because I had a head coach come in and say, hey, you're not a quarterback. So basically didn't even give me an opportunity to play quarterback. But that year also was when the Wildcat was invented. One of these days I'm going to get my credit for it. But, that's when it was invented, and I tore my Achilles. So that was like the worst moment.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, Spurrier. I would say mine is my sophomore year between the hedges at UGA. We lost that game. We should have won it. And I know there was a number of other things that contributed to that loss as well. But I took it personally. I felt like if I wouldn't have made that particular mishap that I had, we would have won that football game. But I dropped a bomb, man. I'd have been running to the races. Wasn't nobody gonna be catching me.
Yeah,
it was like yesterday. I think Bruce was guarding me. Bruce Thornton, cornerback. He might have been, or it was either Corey, one or two. 10 yards deep on him. I'm coming out the line hauling ass, and I see him getting out his backpack. It ain't matter. I had a post right. Willie let it go. And I'm sitting there just looking at it. I was like, oh, it's a touchdown. But the whole time I'm running, it's like my eyes felt like it was doing. That's how the ball looked. My eyes are having a hard time adjusting. So I'm just like, oh, shit, this didn't go too well. That ball hit my hands, boom, and it kind of fumbled. And again, I tried to dove for it, but I dropped it. And I remember running back to the sideline because I got taken out after that. And Rod Garner, he got drafted by the Redskins in the first round, he kind of looking at me like, motherfucker. I'm
that
already
was my favorite player.
Hey, I'm pissed at
Really,
myself.
Rod Garner?
Yeah, Rod
Gardner and Woodrow Dancer.
Yeah.
I love both of them.
especially Woodrow.
I was pissed at myself. I remember that news article. I cut out the picture of me dropping that, and I put it on my wall in my apartment. I was like, I'll never have a drop like that again. I ain't never have no other drops like that.
Yeah. So, good words, mama. Good words, mama. All right. What you got?
I
Can't
really
read that
see
handwriting.
No.
Best player that you played with in college.
Man, that's a tough
Yeah,
question too.
that's really tough.
That's played with.
Yeah, played
Man,
with.
you got an answer for that? Cause
I
can't
I'ma
give
say-
one.
You
Yeah,
can you can get 2 or 3 if you got.
Well, I mean,
That's hard to do that.
I'll just say one. I would say playing with Sidney Rice. You know, Sidney was a different type of athlete, man. Even better on the basketball court. Actually, Sidney. Nobody knows Sidney was on the back of the depth chart, man. Yeah. He was on the back of the depth chart when Spurrier first got here because he was tall, slower guy, but we knew he had the hands and could make all the catches. But one day we was in practice. Blake threw the ball. He just threw it super high, and he just went up and made a catch. And Coach Spurrier said, "Hey, he gave." So he said, "Sidney, get out there, caught a fade ball." And ever since then, from there, he ended up being like probably one of the best receivers in the history of Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I would say Sidney Rice. Man, like I said, it's so
that's
many.
a tough
It's so
question,
many,
man.
but for our years we had so many. But definitely, I would say Sidney probably was the best.
Who's the best player that you played with that just for some reason could never put it all together and never made it?
Demetrius Summers.
I
mean, that was my brother. And to know his talent and know what him coming out of high school, how it's Demetrius.
Yeah.
It was like he was always the number 1 player. I was always number 2 in the state during our time. So just to know that to see how things unfolded for him.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that unfolded, I don't necessarily agree how they handled it, but to see some of the things that he had going on and not able to finally get that opportunity to just be a football player. We never got to see the number 1 player in the nation play.
Yeah.
Never.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
So you got at least like 2 or 3 that you could think
Man,
of.
he got 100.
He ain't lying.
He got 100.
He ain't lying, man. That's what I'm saying. I think we were very underused while I was there at Clemson University based off what we had talent-wise, man.
Definitely.
D-Ham, the noodle, you know what I'm saying? He was
I
he
forgot
was a
about that.
problem, you know what I mean? Roscoe, of course. Gaines Adams, rest his soul.
Yeah.
He was a hell of an athlete.
Dang, I forgot about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, Gaines
Number
was-
4 pick
yeah.
overall.
Top 5 pick in the NFL draft.
Number 4, you know what I'm
He
saying?
single-handedly won a game against.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's just 3, and I mean I can go on. Justin Miller, he was a hell of he
I
would
always
have
liked
went
Justin.
first. He would have went first round if he wouldn't have gotten his little dilemma, leading up to the draft. But
yeah,
man, it's a number, bro.
super talented. Yeah, y'all definitely. Y'all had
There's some
shit,
talent
hell,
there,
the
man.
wide receiver room alone
Bro,
had.
The wide receiver room
Young
that they had,
blood,
Lord.
Yeah, young blood.
D-Ham, Stuckey, Aaron
I
Kelly.
forgot about Youngblood.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
always like
Yeah,
Youngblood.
all these
I
guys.
always thought
All
he
these
was
guys
super
went to the
underrated.
league, man. All these guys went to. Youngblood was a lot. I put it to you like this. Youngblood was a lot better. He lost some speed when it would have been my freshman year when he broke his fibula and his tibia, and that was that was the nastiest shit I seen in practice. We were practicing like we was
that happened
banging,
during
boom.
practice?
That was doing practice.
Those are the worst type of injuries.
Yeah,
Bro.
the work in practice.
And we was so upset because
Yeah.
we was like, why the hell we practicing like this? Why we at each other like this? And man, he ended up breaking his leg.
Wow.
It was on the sideline. And to see, and I got pins in both my feet. And I got, 4 plates and 8 pins in my left cheek. So I know about hardware, but this shit was different. I mean, when he got that shit out, he walking around campus with a rod. Like, he was like, man, put that shit up.
Yeah, I wouldn't even
It made
wanna
my
see
skin
it.
cry. I was like, man, put that shit up. And it was like, that was in your leg.
I played with Youngblood in the AFL.
Did
man.
you?
Yeah, we was
That's
at,
my dog,
we was
man.
we was with the Georgia Force together.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Blood, cool people, man.
Yeah.
But he was always like he never ever had the height, but he just always was
Who?
consistent.
Youngblood?
Yeah.
He was tall, man.
Yeah.
He's
He's
tall,
6'5".
like,
6'5".
I'm saying height.
Height.
No,
Okay.
he had the height.
Okay.
Yeah, he had
He
height.
never all the other people coming in had more recognition than him,
Yeah.
but he just
Yeah.
always
He was a
made
player,
plays.
man. He was a player, man. man. He used to go up and get it, man.
Nah, he was big as hell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. So,
All right. What's y'all's thoughts on your rivals?
Come on now.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, it's still the rivalry is still going on. It's
Yeah.
like it's gonna be this way every
Do
year.
y'all be this passionate like during games now? Like y'all be like, fuck USC, fuck Clemson?
I honestly, you know,
I think that's more of a fan.
yeah, it's a
thing,
fan
man.
thing.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
a fan thing, and it's an out of state thing. It's an
Yeah.
out of state player type thing. You know, that the players from the out of state that come into it. I mean, I know it's an in state rival,
Yeah.
but I caught a lot of flack when I was playing because I was like, man, like them my boys playing
Right.
at Clemson. I mean, like, you know, why am I like supposed to hate? I don't got no hate for them, you know,
So
but
then I might not know. Is USC and Clemson, was that not who y'all considered rivals? Like, did y'all
yeah,
have
no,
other
it's
rivals?
always gonna
rival.
that's blood rivalry. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And it still goes on, but yeah, but
It just I don't think it's not as serious as some of the fans will make it.
the
out to be.
fans,
like
the
didn't-
fans make everything.
Like,
more
of course,
passionate.
as competitors, being competitors all your life, you know what I'm saying? Hey, all right, we boys, we brothers, but I'm going to bust your ass
Yeah,
on
yeah,
this play right
yeah,
here. Type. And that's what it is. And shoot, we going to goddamn, hey, if I'm kicking in Columbia, I'm staying in the Met. Hey, man, what a party that night.
Yeah, yeah,
and
that's how it really- how it
vice
really
versa,
was.
if they up
Yeah.
in Clemson, hey, where the parties
yeah,
at
that's
tonight?
exactly
And we kicking
that's
it
exactly how
together.
it was.
Yeah, it ain't that serious.
But it got a little hand out of hand though, you know. You know what? What at 2005?
You want to go
No,
to it now?
Hey, we might as well.
I mean, we gonna wait on these. Talk about the
it's
rivalry.
out there. Langston and Preston done put it out there now.
Yeah.
They done had they little
Okay.
podcast.
And y'all
Yeah.
gonna have to educate me too.
So,
Okay,
easy.
so in
Go ahead, what-
2005,
Go ahead.
2005, go
Was it
ahead.
2000? No, it couldn't have been 2005.
Yes, it
'Cause-
was.
No, it wasn't.
It was-
You talking about the fight, right?
04, 05.
You talking about the fight?
You what? I mean, 04, like it was
It was-
04 year, but 04,
Yeah,
05
because it would have been my
season.
senior
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it was
was
your
04
last.
my
Okay,
senior,
so
yeah.
2004. My
Yeah,
You
bad.
got drafted
2004.
in 05.
Yeah, I got drafted in 05.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 04,
04.
05.
2004.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So up in Clemson,
Yeah, this is
Clemson. Both of y'all are on. This is time you overlapped in the years.
Yeah.
So both of y'all is at the game,
Yeah.
Yep.
and both teams is decent, not great, but both
Yeah.
teams is solid.
Yeah, we
Both teams were projected to go to the bowl.
So
Yeah.
both teams
So
were
both
going
go.
to a
we was
bowl.
both
Yeah, we
already
were going to a
bowl
bowl.
eligible.
Yeah, both
yeah,
are bowl
yeah.
eligible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going into the game, but y'all don't make a bowl because a
Well,
brawl,
I mean,
a brawl takes place.
everybody blames the fight on me, but I'm like,
No, I'm gonna get because I'm sure there's all kinds of points of views to this story.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm gonna get.
I
And
wanna hear the
you wanna
Clemson side.
Because I'm gonna give.
I wanna hear
I'm gonna
all
show you
of
what
it.
I saw. So I was a
Okay.
captain that game. You know what I mean? I'm goddamn at the darn middle of the field, and next thing you know, all I see is. When we at the top of the hill, get ready to run down, Carolina's at the bottom of the hill waiting on us. I'm like,
man.
oh shit, this shit ain't gonna end well.
yeah.
So goddamn, as soon as we run down the hill, you know, everybody kind of square out. They just, you know what I'm saying, they, you know, gibber and jawing back and forth. It breaks up, and then we go to our sidelines. Hell, what y'all don't know is the rest was trying to kick me out of the game at that point because I ran from the middle of the field
Wow.
to over there. They was trying to, you know what I'm saying, kick me out of the game then.
Early.
And Coach Sweeney was hot as hell. He was, Airese, jump down here. You know they trying to kick you out of the game. I was
Yeah.
like, man, I ain't even did shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just run over there. So the whole game, it's all kinds of bullshit going. You know, it's bullshit going on. People
Whole
want to
game.
gouge your eyes, try to grab your nuts type shit while you under the pile. It was like,
Yeah,
yo.
they say my ankle. Do y'all know about my ankle that game?
No, I didn't know. Ain't nobody know
okay.
about your ankle. But what
All
I do
right.
know is the refs let it go off. We didn't know about it. At least I didn't.
Yeah.
I know I'm saying the defense.
Defense
does.
knew about
I'm pretty
it.
sure
Yeah,
they
they
did. You
knew
know,
about it.
defense be dirty.
Yeah, they was-
But then
man.
the whole time the ref just letting bullshit go. And it's a rival game.
Yeah.
And I remember one time we was there. It might have been third quarter. Bobby Wilson comes through, breaks through the line, tackles Syvelle, gets up, drops a knee on Syvelle. Boom.
Okay. Now we getting somewhere. Now we
Drops a
getting
knee. I'm on the sideline. I'm like, oh shit.
Wrestling. There's a wrestling.
Drops a
too.
knee on. Bam. Next thing you know, one of Carolina's offensive line rushes Bobby.
Chris
And
White.
that's when goddamn
Yep.
Mayhem broke out. Both sidelines
Yep.
clear.
Yep.
And the rest was history. I'm talking that shit went from the 50-yard line all the way to the end zone. I'm seeing
Yeah.
people getting knocked out.
Yeah.
Lou Holtz in the middle, goddamn, trying to break it. I'm like, Lou, you don't get your old ass up out here. I'm
Yeah.
seeing goddamn police officers, troopers out there. I'm like, y'all better get y'all ass out
it
this
was-
field
it was-
too.
it
This
was
shit-
crazy.
It was crazy, and the fact that they still let us finish the football game was
crazy. I can't believe it.
It was more. The crazy part of it is we came out the locker room and Coach Dave Roberts, he was the running back coach at the time because me and Demetrius was up front when the team was about to run out and take the field, and he was like, oh no, y'all meet the rest at the hill. So we was like, go to the hill. And then he was like, yeah, go to the hill. So we ran to the hill. The whole team followed, because we, leaders. I was starting quarterback. Yeah. They followed me. We went to the hill. Yeah. I didn't know what I was doing at the hill. I'm scared. I'm in Death Valley. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to worry about because I ain't really know the playbook like that. So, I worried about Clemson and that defensive line, and then next thing I know, first play of the game, kickoff. Boom, Corey Boyd catch the ball. Boom, bam, that fumble. First play of the game. So I was like, oh crap, man. I was like, we should not have ran the hill. But like he said, it was a whole lot of. I know they were twisting my ankle the whole game because I had a high ankle sprain coming into the game. But it was that knee drop, man. He kneed me and boom, punched me in the helmet. Next thing I know, he came. Chris White came, pushed him. He was our center at the time, pushed him, and then it was crazy because I think the brawl actually happened because it was turnover on downs. Mm-hmm. So when you got 22 people on the field, offense, defense. And then you got some little melee going on, and then you got 22 more people running on the field. Now you got you got 44 people on the field and pushing and shoving, just like the beginning of the game. Except this time, it wasn't just talking. But most of the guys who was in the brawl was out of state guys. It wasn't really no in state guys. We was just like
with the exception of Yusuf.
Yeah, my boy Keith Kelly was going crazy.
They blew that up. But what you don't, they made him out to be the villain.
He was the villain.
He was not the villain. Let me tell you. He was not the villain.
That's my guy.
He wasn't the villain. This is what happened. This is what happened. He returned. What they always say, it's the second person that gets caught, right?
Yeah.
Buddy had Keith in the headlock.
Yeah, he was in the headlock.
Yeah, Keith came up out that headlock. And when he came up out that headlock, it was a wrap after that. Oh, you seen, he got there and get ready to kick him in his shit. Got there, he laying on the ground, covered up like this. Then they Keith done chunked this shit in the stands. Yeah. Threw his helmet in the stands.
That was crazy.
This is what we discovered over the years. From talking to Langston and Preston, that all stemmed from some female that one of them boys supposedly at Clemson was hitting down there, so they was talking shit back and forth. Oh, I'm hitting your girl. So that's where all the tension came from. You didn't know about that.
The first time I ever heard
that's what was going on.
Who was the?
I don't know. That's what was going on. Yeah, I'm hitting your girl. You can. That's a touchy situation. So
man,
that's what was going on.
I always thought it was because I got kicked.
That was part of it. That was part of it.
But
this was beforehand. This was like Thursday. Yeah, I was like, so that's what was going on. Yeah,
it was a good game.
It was a good game, man.
Well, sometimes I like messy shit, so I got an off the board question.
Come on with it.
What's the dirtiest thing y'all have done in a game before?
The dirtiest thing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
I don't think I've ever done anything dirty.
I don't think I ever did anything dirty.
Yeah, we got two choir boys.
Yeah.
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a choir boy, but I've never because. Yeah. I wouldn't want nobody to do no dirty shit to me. We already playing a violent sport. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, but dirty shit has been done to y'all.
Oh, man.
I've had my nuts grabbed. Motherfucker tackling me by my nuts.
I want to elaborate. Like, you were saying your ankle sprain. What were they trying to do?
Yeah, every time I got tackled, they're bam, bam. Grabbing it, twisting it. Every time I got tackled, there was a twist, a yank after every one. So
that would irritate the hell out of me.
Yeah, but me being dirty, I honestly was probably. Like I said, I probably was a church boy on the field. Hey, you all right, man? Get up. I was definitely not a dirty player, man, at all.
Since we in a messy shit, so who won the fight? Who was the best fighter on the team?
I think it was Dubs on both sides of that thing because it was.
We won. I say we won the fight. but they won the game. So
I don't know.
The game wasn't even that
I would have rather had went to a bowl game.
Yeah.
I
And not
don't
fought
recall
at
no
all.
Clemson players getting knocked out.
Because y'all was all because they had y'all they had them all paying back and letting us look like what I'm saying.
Hey, you can pull it. YouTube still got it. It's
YouTube,
up on
yeah,
YouTube. You
our
can pull
guys,
it.
our
People
guys was
running
holding
around
the
getting
helmets
knocked
up.
out.
Yeah, they players all on the sideline
Heck
drinking
no.
Gatorade and stuff.
Hey, they go down like that.
Who was the best fighter on the team? Who was the best?
I don't know.
That's one.
Now,
That's
if you want to go there, I mean, during that time, during those days, like
Carolina
you know,
and Clemson had
do-
some goons.
Yeah.
You gotta think about Carolina. They getting in trouble stealing laptops type
Come
stuff.
on now, come on.
We
now.
got it's
Come on
public
now.
knowledge.
Come
People
on
know
now.
what time
Come on
going
now.
on.
See,
They
I
around here
got
stealing.
arrested for that now. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now.
Y'all
Yeah.
boys stealing laptops.
Nah,
Yeah.
it wasn't even like we see during that
We
time.
just saw it and took it. We ain't mean to steal
Yeah,
it.
see how he took it there. Yeah, but during that time, times were different. People
That's
wasn't.
what you got arrested for, and you say you didn't do no dirty shit.
See, but
They
see,
stealing
That
laptops.
was
Friday.
off
time
the
out-
field.
but
He
time
was
out,
on
we-
the field.
we get- let me clear myself of that first before I say anything else. I didn't steal anything. Like pretty much, like there were memorabilia throughout our stadium of yourselves. And you would have to have been a player that actually played to have pictures, like different things up in the stadium. And my freshman year, I seen that everybody got their pictures of themselves and things like that. They gave them to you. And after that season, our season was over after the fight.
Yeah.
So it was a picture of me and Lou Holtz, myself and Lou Holtz. Yeah. Everybody else was walking out the stadium with their pictures just freely. I was like, okay, well shoot, I want the one of me and Lou. Yeah. And they asked us to bring those pictures, just all the stuff, helmets and things like that all the players had took back the next day. And we was NCAA was coming in. Dang. So pretty much everybody who brought their stuff back, which that next day all got arrested.
Oh shit!
Damn.
Yeah. That's so crazy. we all went to jail like months later for I took a picture of myself. It was myself. So I didn't. It wasn't like I stole no. Now the other boys who did all the laptop stuff, that was on them.
Yeah.
But as far as like what I got arrested for, it was I had a picture in my dorm room of me and Lou Holtz for not even 24 hours.
That you took.
That they gave it to us. They took them off the wall, and everybody was walking out. So I seen all the seniors guy. I was like one of the only underclassmen who was blessed to have a picture up there. So I just took my picture.
That's
you put it on
lame.
top of the laptop that you stole.
Nah, I ain't need no laptop.
That is lame,
back
bro.
then, there ain't nobody even have laptops. It wasn't no
You ain't never
laptops.
lied. It wasn't even a requirement back then.
We had the big computers
You had
back
the
then.
desktop.
Where you had to burn.
Oh, so you stole the desktop.
Man, actually, the desktop that I had came out of my uncle's funeral home. So I had a computer. I didn't need to steal a computer or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So-
wild.
But
got
we won the fight though.
Hey, that's to be debated. That is to be debated all day.
We touched everything on the fight. We got other thing about the fight though was the night before
The Pacers and the Pistons.
where they went. I think that's what messed everything up
Cass
too.
was hyped about that fight. He was like, "Man, you see that? That's
Yeah.
all we was talking about the next morning at breakfast, pregame." He was like, "Man,
So
you
that
see
hyped some stuff up, and then it kind of the news media took a hold of that, and then took a hold of yours, and it was.
It was
That was
over.
that was the second rival. I mean, the second battle for me because that's how my high school career ended.
It was a fight?
Against Northwestern High School, we got in the end of the game brawl. They banned us from the playoffs.
Oh, so it is your fault.
So, yeah, so
Crazy
Common
thing, it was
denominator.
the same thing. End of the game, same thing. They beat us or whatever like that. The coach came out. He actually head coach at Keenan now. Keenan High School came over, got over top of me, and boom, start one push, end of the game, start a fight. And next thing you know, we don't make it.
It's one common
Post-game.
denominator here.
One common. Yeah, got a point.
Man. Well,
Okay, so we can stop the fight stuff. Get back to the other stuff. Best player you ever played against in college? I know you might have a couple. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's hard to say a player, but because I played both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
One person that I thought was unreal and like I never seen a person so fast was Percy Harvin. My senior year, they put me at defensive back. I ain't never tackled a soul in my whole career. But they threw me in, and my first game happened to be against Florida Gators, which they got a Netflix.
I was
now.
gonna ask you,
Yeah,
have you
that
seen
game
it yet?
is on. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Crazy part,
Y'all actually kind of get highlighted a little bit.
Yeah, we did get highlighted in that, but I had dropped the interception that would have ended that game, kind of like one of his drops. But but pretty much Percy Harvin, fastest dude I ever seen, and I was man to man with him almost the whole game.
He was faster than Troy.
Man, it's two different type of speeds. Troy probably the fastest straight line I ever seen.
Yeah.
But
you talking about this on
I'm
football
talking about
field.
It's a fast man,
shifty
too.
type.
But he already know he's just in a whole different category, man. This man slipped down in the 100 and get up and beat everybody.
Yeah.
But
Percy, I would say Percy Harvin.
Yeah,
different.
he had some juice, dog.
Yeah.
Percy was different in college.
I don't know, man. It's so many.
That's
Darren
our
McFadden.
era,
I can go down a
bro.
long
We
list.
had some dogs come through our era. That's why I be trying to tell, man. I guess they be trying to get
Peter
me to
Ward
doubt.
probably got to be the
That's
best.
Dub.
That's what I was thinking.
He wasn't shift. I'm sorry, I was about to say wasn't shift. He wasn't fast at all, but he was so shifty that he could stop on a dime. He had like Jerry Rice speed, realistically speaking.
Yeah.
4 or 6.
And I think that's what hurt him in the pros.
Man, yeah.
But in college, he was different.
Yeah, he was real different in college. He was one of my favorite players. Like I said, I told you I was a Florida State fan growing
Yeah,
up.
that was my actual favorite player.
Yeah,
That was the first person as a
You said
fan that
that,
I
yeah,
watched
man.
growing up and was like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, and then you had people like Reggie Bush, Percy Harvin, Darren McFadden, Mike Vick, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Peter Ward was the first person as like a fan. I was like, oh my god, he's different from everybody else on the field.
Right.
But yeah, for sure.
Do y'all feel like it's a lack of higher level athletes nowadays? Considering I feel like the game in general for any sport, everything is a lot softer now. So does that make like softer athletes, or do you think there's still dogs out there?
I think there's still dogs out there. It's not as many dogs.
Yeah.
You still got dogs out because you got you know what I'm saying, science has improved, technology has improved. You got all kinds of people trainers. They have access to this and that. So you still come across a dog. That's why when I come across one, I'm like, oh yeah, you know,
gotta grab them, right? Yeah, you take them on
these
the
so
wings.
many of them that just be talking a good game. And I'm like, man, I said I outwork you 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and I outwork you at 40 years old. I said, man, in my day, I'd never let a damn 40-year-old man outwork me. I don't give a damn where he been.
Yeah.
Like, oh, coach, you played in the NFL. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
I don't give 18 years old me, a 40-year-old. Oh, you played in the league? Okay, you got to show me what you can do.
Yeah.
These cats, they'll lay down, especially once they see what it is, and I'm like, oh, I'm D1 on this. I'm like, you ain't D1 or you can't beat me at 40 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can go. Yeah, you getting recruited to go, but you got a lot of work you need to do.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, once you get there, you going to goddamn be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
You ain't doing this. You ain't willing to do this. You whining and complaining about having to run gassers after practice for time. Like, motherfucker, that's what you going to have. You got a conditioning test that you got to pass when you get on campus.
Yeah.
And you complaining about running what your position requires you to do.
Yeah.
I don't be understanding.
Yeah, it's just times. The times now have, changed. I was a educator for a few years, and even being inside of the classroom as a teacher, man, you tell them to write a 3-page paper, they look at you like, what? Right?
No damn
And they
paper.
say, well, spell a word. They got to go on their phones and actually use the phones now to spell. You
That's
know.
me.
I mean, it really, like one of my tests, I said, I scratched my whole test and said, you know what, I'm just gonna put on the board like spell, how to spell apostrophe. And do you know out of all my classes, I only had 2 kids spell it right. And it was like, I was like, man, these kids are just not the same. And right now,
Everything's on a computer.
Everything has changed. Like he said, computer, with everything. With me being a trainer and owning the gym, me having D1 athletes come in and it's just like I'm 38 and I'm like, how am I still stronger than all these kids? Right. And they don't want to work. And then all the girls in my gym stronger than them. I'm like, that's embarrassing. Yeah. But these are the same ones that's still getting drafted though. Yeah. They getting drafted. They end up on NFL teams, and the talent wise, I feel the skill of the game is went up, but the actual, I feel like talent is kind of just not the same.
And I think I won't even say that they don't have talent, but I do think mentality has changed a lot
Yeah,
because a lot of people
there you go.
they don't want to work hard for nothing. Like
Yeah,
everyone thinks like I should
different.
just I should just automatically be good or I'm
Yeah.
the best, so I don't got to do nothing else.
They
other
feel
than what I'm
entitled and
already
obligated,
Entitled.
like somebody
Yeah.
owe them something. Like you ain't did shit.
Yeah.
You know, they
There's
be-
so many more distractions nowadays.
It's a
Too
whole-
many.
it's a
Social
whole
media,
bunch
like
of
you
distractions.
can't.
Too many.
And
I mean,
IL too.
But
But that shouldn't be a distraction. That should be a motivation.
That's motivation.
That should be a
Man,
Yeah,
what
that's
they have
motivation.
in NIL
Man,
wows around.
I know
mean,
everybody
all
had-
kinds of
every-
deals.
everybody
track
had-
deals.
what?
Got there all kind of shit
Oh,
going
I'm
on.
so sorry. What's NIL?
Oh
Yeah.
man,
NIL is
Name,
name, image, likeness. You
Yeah.
get
Oh,
paid
so
for
they
that.
get paid in college now.
Yeah.
Okay, I just
They
didn't know
get
how to
paid in
name.
high
My
school.
Yeah,
bad.
they get paid in
Oh,
high
that's
school now.
lit.
Yeah.
That's
You know what
I
I'm saying?
wish.
You
I
got
wish.
you got some
do
millionaires
something I'm
coming out.
supposed to love to do.
Love to do, yeah.
What? Go to the league? What the hell?
And I
I'm going
get
to the
money
league for?
now?
Mercedes got there and giving me
Yeah.
$200,000 a year.
Yeah.
Just come
I
over
mean,
and sign some autographs. I'm going
Shoot,
to damn
I
league.
seen the quarterback at Carolina now. He got a one of the brand new G wagons.
Come on, spin.
Yeah, Smith, brand new G wagon, drove it out the lot. I'm like, man,
It's
you
like-
know,
That's
so
what I'm
they
saying.
getting everything, track hawks and everything now.
That's
I'm
why
like, man, it's
I be
crazy.
talking junk to my son, my oldest son. I'm like, man, I said, you bullshit, man. I
Wow,
said,
and you got some
bro,
for the
he's
kids,
a
bro.
dog, man. I'm like, man, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And then that just my son alone was like, as far as the mentality, I remember having a conversation with him. I was like, and he's top 25 as far as the class of 2025 Wake County, top 25 players.
Wow.
I asked him one day, I was like, when these critics and coaches have conversations of top players in the country, do you feel like your name should be amongst those top? You know what the fuck he said to me?
Tell me that.
No. I said, that's the damn problem. Dude. I said, you might as well go ahead and stop playing.
Wow.
I said, if you don't have the mentality that your name should be brought up amongst those conversations in those rooms, right? I said, you darn.
Get
it
over
ain't-
it.
Yeah,
What if you
yeah.
feel like you need to do more work though? Like maybe
Huh?
he just genuinely don't.
But that's the thing, though. He doesn't do more. I've been telling him to do more work since he was Lehigh.
So really, it was
They're
just
not gonna
telling you
listen
the
to
truth.
us, man.
He don't have
Yeah.
the work
You gotta
ethic.
send him to Syvelle.
He comes by.
Nah, he ain't gonna listen to- he ain't gonna
do it with
listen to me.
Syvelle.
All right. Craziest or wildest atmosphere that you ever played in?
Listen, man, you asking some good questions,
Right.
bro.
It would have to
for
be
real.
between the hedges for me. It's definitely between the hedges. That sophomore year, that same game I was talking about, I had
Georgia?
that drop. Yeah. Man, darn.
That atmosphere ain't do nothing for me.
That's
man.
because for us it was an old rivalry being rekindled.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was the first year that
And it was hot as shit, too.
Man, I don't care about the heat. We don't care about that
Yeah, we
shit.
ain't-
Damn. But that shit was crazy. I remember being in the slot and what did he like calling audibles, and I'm sitting there looking at it, I was like, man, I can't hear shit what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's how loud it was. And it'd be loud in Death Valley. Like I feel like
Yeah,
Death
Clemson.
Valley is one of the loudest places that I've been. People like, what's the loudest?
Both South Carolina and Clemson got
Well,
ring.
I mean,
shoot.
I mean,
Death Valley,
Clemson
bro.
was loud, but it you know what I'm saying. Both stadiums, as far as like Carolina and Clemson, the fans are not right up on you.
No,
You know,
that's
it's not
true.
right up on you. But you know, like
But I'm
me.
still saying, as far as programs in the country, both have top.
Yeah, we got
atmospheres.
great
yeah.
atmospheres. Yeah, great atmospheres. But when you go play at Neyland Stadium, Tennessee, man,
Yeah.
and you talking about 100,000,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
and that Rocky Top start playing,
Yeah.
and then it's overtime. That was it was crazy. And then we played against Arkansas, but we didn't play them in Fayetteville. We played them in Little Rock.
Okay.
And the only reason why they played in Little Rock is because Coach Holtz was the coach there before.
Yeah.
So they took us to the old stadium where it only sit like 45,000.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
But the stands, the stands was right there at our backs, and you heard the N word.
kinds of stuff,
I'm like, man, it was crazy,
Yeah.
but it was so loud. It was so loud, and like you could be standing right there beside your teammate and stuff like that. You don't know the play, you ain't getting the calls, and you just really lost out there, man. It's loud. But Arkansas and Tennessee for me.
Arkansas, Tennessee, and you say Georgia.
I said Georgia for me. Georgia and possibly Texas A&M. They always talk about that 12th man experience. I didn't necessarily feel it that much. I felt like they
But
sabotaged us
it's
that
a
year.
huge. It's a huge stadium
Yeah,
too.
it's
Though.
pretty
They
big.
got 100. They got 100,000
Yeah.
there
It's
too.
big.
Yeah.
I always thought.
But they
such a
added
weird-
them. They added them 100 on after.
Yeah.
after
Yeah,
us.
it wasn't
Yeah,
100 when
that's
we
true.
played
Yeah.
there.
That was at the Manziel.
Yeah.
They added all that stuff.
There's another dot they just put out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But okay, two good answers for sure. Craziest game you've been a part of? It could be a winner. Besides the fight, we want
Yeah,
to do
besides
the
the
fight.
we know
We
that's
could do
crazy.
like a
That
like,
game
I'm talking
wasn't even
about
crazy.
most
It was just
competitive.
Most
just-
competitive.
I'm gonna say Yeah, man, probably that the game when we played against Tennessee. It was like my freshman year. I wasn't even really playing that much that game, but just to be there, to see how it's back and forth. That was like the only overtime game I really was a part of, and it was just too loud. But I was on the field, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was just in the game. But that was probably about the craziest game I was a part of.
The one on the Florida Docks was pretty
Yeah,
wild
that was
too.
but that game, man, we should have won. Like
You
I said,
1000%
I dropped the interception. It hit me dead in the hands. I just seen the ball come and Chris Leak threw it straight to me, and I still to this day don't know how I dropped the ball. I actually got it in my phone. I got that play in my phone, but yeah, I dropped the ball, and next thing you know, Tebow. Yeah, he did what he did, jumped over my head and went in the touchdown. So I had like 2 bad plays on that drive. So I wouldn't be surprised if you watch that documentary. I look stupid on there. Yeah.
Do y'all have a most embarrassing moment in any of your games?
It's
really sounding
I think he might have done said his.
Yeah.
He told me the most embarrassing one in high school before.
Oh yeah. That shit. That was funny.
Yeah, I have to say it.
No, I don't care, bro.
What high school?
I went to Richard Northeast.
Richard Northeast, we all went to Richard
It's
Northeast.
Three?
No, he went to Marlboro County.
This whole line went to
Yeah, Northeast.
I'm a Columbia High girl.
Oh, you.
Yeah, y'all business folks.
Yeah.
I'm country boy.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
man, high school, I remember we used to have pregame at Trenton Baptist Church. And truth be told, man, they feed you some bullshit before the game. Dog. They talking about mashed potatoes and gravy. Fried chicken,
before the game.
Before that's what you eat pregame, in high school. And I
We
know
ate
that
pizza.
for a fact. Like, darn, that's what y'all had.
Yeah, we had
these
pizza.
churches around here feeding. I know in Florida,
Like sandwiches.
that's
and
what
stuff
we.
like that.
Nah,
We got 2 slices.
You
of
getting
pizza.
hot meal, macaroni and cheese, baked macaroni and cheese, spaghetti. Exactly.
Dang.
So
Y'all was eating
I had
good.
a ritual that after all
Good and
that,
bad.
I always used the bathroom by the time we got back to the stadium. before we went to the stadium, because we played our home games at Spring Valley, it didn't click in time. So pregame, you know what I'm saying, we good to go. Man, damn, I come kickoff, return, I'm back returning the damn kick. I get the ball, boom, dude fly right at my feet. I hurdle him. We was playing OW. I mean, it was like it was yesterday. But he speared me dead in my stomach. I didn't even feel it come out. I shitted on myself. Real talk. I said, damn. Hey, I went to the sideline. I told the trainer, my man Scott was the trainer at the time. I told him, I said, hey, I need to go to the locker room. I done shit on myself. He looked at me kind of like, for real? I was like, I'm not lying. Yeah, shit on myself. Hey, I ran to the locker room. Did what I need to do in my job, threw them shits in the trash, came back out to the darn game and balled out on their ass. That bitch straight up.
They balled out on your ass too.
Hey, we beat the brakes off OW. I think I had like 3 or 4 touchdowns that game. But darn, they had all kinds of jokes at me and Sunday. You want to have baby wipes and shit. And I was like, yeah. For real. But yeah, it pushed that shit right out of me. I didn't even feel it.
I just pass on that one. You done stole it all.
Hey,
man.
Good luck topping that.
You ain't about to top it. I know I ain't the only one that shit done happened to, but hey, that was mine.
I don't think I ever had that.
For
brother.
real.
You played, like you said earlier, for Holtz and Spurrier. Thoughts on both? What was the difference? I mean, a big difference between the two.
Big difference. Yeah.
But thoughts on both?
Well, Coach Holtz was more of a guy during that time. He was trying to. You could tell he was winding down. He was trying to call himself changing a culture. He was trying to build a culture there, trying to set it up for whoever that next coach would be. I think he was trying to set it up for his son Skip, which never happened because of the whole brawl thing. They brought, ended up bringing Spurrier in, but the interaction with Holtz was more. That guy was trying to teach us like more life things, But Coach Spurrier came in. He was all about we about to win games, and I didn't. I mean, honestly, I don't really hold back when I'm talking about Coach Spurrier. I feel like, he ruined my career. Like how how he handled everything. I was like probably about his first black quarterback ever. So to those rumors and things that were said at first, I didn't think, I was just happy he was coming. I'm thinking, I'm about to be throwing the ball all over the place. And my first interaction with him, the first time meeting him, he said, hey, Syvelle, think you'd be a good wide receiver in my offense, and that's how it was. So it was like up and down, up and down, up and down. I learned more about the game of football doing with Spurrier. I didn't really know Holt's offense at all. I was really playing quarterback just off pure athleticism. First person I seen open throw it. Coach Holtz, he didn't really teach us much. Spurrier, his whole staff was all about teaching us like how to read defenses and things. So I really learned the game. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, two total different coaches. Both of them will always be going down as the greatest coaches, ever. But yeah,
I mean, that's a crazy two coaches to play for.
Yeah, Spurrier was different. He was a different kind of guy, man.
Yeah,
he was a different kind of guy.
For sure.
Do y'all feel like a coach can single-handedly ruin an athlete's career?
Oh yeah.
I've seen players, just because of one bad play in practice. Mm-hmm. That's it. Yeah. Not playing no more. Like so if you don't play, you don't really get scouted. You may do something dumb on campus. It's over with.
No, at that point. Yeah.
I played with Mo Thompson, and Mo Thompson was All-American. Mm-hmm. I mean, if y'all don't remember, he was an All-American, and Coach Spurrier single-handedly ruined his career. Never played at Carolina again. He got two of our best players off the team. One best player on offense, best player on defense off the team when he first walked in. So I was really out the door too. The only reason why I was able to stay is because I went to anger management. So, that was one of the things I had to do was go to anger management. Yeah.
What about you? You played for Tommy Bowden, but you also wide receiver coach was Dabo at the time.
Yeah.
Thoughts on those two?
I mean, I thought they were definitely both good coaches. I think Coach Sweeney was definitely more detailed when it came to the X's and O's. I seen our receiver group kind of just go to another level once he got there spring of my sophomore year. So he brought that Alabama mentality early on to the receiver corps once he got in it. I mean, it was just no nonsense. He didn't give a damn what you did the year before. Hell, he didn't give a damn what you did the practice before. Like, each practice, you better bring it because he was going to put the best man on the field. And that didn't do nothing but just make us better as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Coach Bowden, he was cool. He was more – Coach Bowden seemed to be more into his Oakley shades and his Nikes. You know what I'm saying? They really much. Coach Bowden was going to teach it, but Coach Sweeney definitely taught me, myself personally, a lot as far as helping me evolve as a receiver and a player. And you've seen the success he's had. Y'all seen the success he's had at Clemson since he's been a head coach. Crazy. So it's no surprise to me just based on what I knew, what he brought to our receiver room when he first got there.
So after college,
what
happened? What was the career path after college? I mean, I know, but I'm let y'all tell people.
Well, me, I got hurt playing against Clemson the last game. I tweaked my groin. I thought it was a groin tweak. But when I got to the NFL combine, that's when you go through all the medical. You got 32 teams pulling on you. They all sending for X-rays and stuff like that. 32 positive fractured pelvic bone.
Oh shit!
So my pelvic bone was fractured, and that pretty much took me out because it was like
they ain't want to fool with you.
Nah, they ain't no
bad investment. That's a bad investment.
So it was like you go from being this, always being at the top, and then all it takes is one injury that say like it's over with. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much what happened to me as far as. But now like I said, being able to be a businessman, have my own gym, and starting into so many other things. I feel like I still live as if I made it to the league anyways.
You did play arena football for a while.
No, that was fun. Arena football was fun, man. It was nothing like thinking about preparation for football. It was just all fun. It was just fun going to different cities, living in different cities: Chicago, Philadelphia, Kansas City, New Orleans, Atlanta. I'm in all these cities for free,
right?
And just everything we did, I'm like, it was
Kicking
just fun. And Canada, you know what I'm saying? So it was just fun, man.
Okay,
just fun.
Yeah.
So Airese, after you left Left Clemson. What did you do?
Well, I was fortunate enough to get drafted by the Chicago Bears in the 5th round. I mean, I was projected to go anywhere from 2nd to 5th. I think I kind of fell to the 5th once I got to the combine. Once again, like Syvelle, when I got to the combine, I realized my foot was fractured.
Wow.
I didn't know it was fractured the whole time. I'm down in Georgia training, and I didn't realize it was fractured. I remember the incident I had during a training session when I was down at Velocity, and I didn't think nothing of it because the fracture that I had already done it previously twice on the right foot. So I was accustomed to the pain. So I kind of, I come back, ice it, type it, I'm good. And that's what it was. And get to the combine, it's like, man, your foot fractured.
Yeah.
So the teams that was genuinely interested, Kansas City, Chicago, and Atlanta, out of those 3, Kansas City recommended that I have surgery on my my foot prior to leading up to the draft. So I did that, took their consideration, and shoot, when I went on my visit to go see Chicago, they didn't realize I had the surgery. But it was Chicago that ended up pulling the trigger on me, though. So they took me in the 5th round, was with them for 2 seasons, was on the 53-man roster both years, but couldn't stay healthy. I was still dealing with the foot, and then I had the soft muscle tissue injuries type stuff. It just, for whatever reason, man, couldn't get right. You know what I'm saying? So career was over and done with Chicago in 2 years. I was fortunate that we won the NFC Championship, and I was able to go to the Super Bowl. So we lost to the Colts. We should have won that game, in my opinion. I mean, we started off on their ass, but we stopped sending the dogs. We stopped sending them dogs at Peyton, and he picked our ass apart in that second half. And they ended up coming out with the victory. But I was able to play in Canada a season. Once I got released by Chicago, I was training to get back in the league. Ended up going to Canada to the BC Lions for a tryout, but I wasn't feeling that shit. I mean, not Lions, I was not feeling. I was like, what? CFL? I'm in a practice playing on a soccer field, basically. No lines on it.
Lines.
I get a running head start. Coach yelling at me, talking about, get your dead. Hell, man, I'm trying to make the adjustment. You know what I'm saying?
That's great.
I got all this speed, but you talking about run a hook at 12 yards. Hell, I don't even know where the lines are on the field because there was no lines there. So I was like, man, bump that. They had, offered me a contract. They ended up going with another guy they had chose. They brought us in because they was replacing a veteran receiver. But I was like, man, bump that. I'm not coming back up here. Only to damn sit out of the year training with the hopes of getting back to the NFL to only go to Canada in 2009 anyways. I'm like, yo, dumb ass shit. Because if ultimately think just, saying hindsight is always 2020. Reflecting back, it's like, if football is what you love, you should have took your ass back up there in 2008, played the season, you would have had film.
I should have stayed.
You would have been good to go.
I left.
Yeah.
I told him to give me a plane ticket. I told her, I said, I did. I left Montreal, man. They did the same thing. They brought me up on a quarterback contract.
Yeah.
Said they wasn't going to change my position. 3rd day in the camp, I'm at wide receiver. And I'm like, wait a minute. Then he brought me in, at that time it was Jim Pop, brought me in the office and said, hey, man, we're gonna go in and renegotiate your contract because they changed my position. So they tried to take about $20,000 off
that, man.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, let me get that plane ticket.
Right. Put that $20,000 towards the plane ticket.
But that was the worst decision, during that time, and I didn't even understand why they moved me because I was having a good camp. Actually, Cliff Kingsbury was like right there as my roommate. So it was crazy. Then when I went back, I couldn't get on no team. So all the good years I had in arena ball, being the leading receiver in Chicago, leading in Philadelphia. If an NFL team or anybody called, they still had rights to my contract. Yeah. So I couldn't never get on because I left Canada. Yeah.
That's how it be, man.
How was the Super Bowl experience, though?
Oh, that was a wonderful experience. It was down there in South Beach. So, we leaving Chicago. Hell, I remember like it was yesterday. It had to be -6 when we left Chicago. When we flew out of Chicago to head down to the Super Bowl. We get down there. It's mid-80s. I didn't take no luggage. I went down there with a suit, 10,000 in this pocket, 10,000 in this pocket. I was like, I'm just gonna shop when I get to Miami, and that's what I did, man. I was like, I'm gonna buy my clothes when I get down there. But man, it was wonderful, man. Even though I didn't get a chance to play, just Prince performed at halftime. Wow. I didn't go out there and watch it because it started pouring down rain. Yeah. I was like, I'm not.
He performed Purple Rain in the Rain.
Yeah, right? I was like, I love Prince, but I'm not going out there in that rain. So I just listened to him while I was in the locker room. But it was a good time, man.
That's what's up.
So if there's any advice, because apparently y'all got the sauce, y'all done said it.
Yeah.
If it was any advice that you had to give current athletes now, what would y'all say?
For me, it would be always keeping in mind Life After Sports. And I actually wrote a book a couple years ago. So I'm author as well. I wrote a book, and the memoir is called Life After Sports.
Yeah, come on, man.
Just reflecting on my life, like how it played out as far as with the plan. Like you couldn't have paid me $1 million to say that I'd have been over and done with in the NFL in 2 seasons type deal. So, and I knew, like, being a business owner now, I knew that I always, because I was a business major at Clemson, I knew I always wanted to own my own type of company and run my own type of deal. I just didn't know what that looked like while I was in college and while I was in Chicago, and I felt like I had time. Nah, man, if you got there, go ahead and start putting that together right now, because this ain't forever, and it's going to come to an end.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't a matter
It is.
when, you know what I'm saying? It's going to come. It's going to happen, and it happens sooner than you think.
Yeah.
So, and that was the case with me, and I just didn't have no plan. So for years, life was just up and down, struggling up and down, trying to figure out working for people type stuff, just bullshit-ass jobs, and you just... And being a country boy, like I'm from 45 minutes up the road from here, a small town called St. Paul's, right off 95 in Lumberton area.
I know that's it.
I grew up working in the tobacco field, cutting grass, and so I ain't opposed to no hard work. I've been working all my life, but the NFL was my first real job. So you got to think about that's the expectation.
Wow.
That's you know what I'm saying. That was the floor for me. So to come back to just be a regular civilian, I'm like, this shit ain't it.
Yeah.
But you know, as a man, you do what you need to do, because I had a family at that time, I had kids, I had a wife, so I did what I needed to do, just trying to figure it out. So, but have that plan, have that vision, write it down, make it plan, and stick to it and watch it unfold, whatever that looks like. But definitely start thinking about life after sports right now.
Yeah, like he said, same thing. Me, I had a whole lot of mental health struggles, you know, from like life after football, and having 2 of my teammates, you know, go through what I was going through at the time. But you know, like I never got to that point that, you know, where I took my life, but you know they did, and both of them were in the NFL at the time. And I had a brother play. My brother played in the NFL. He was in the NFL when I was in college. So, you know, that was kind of one of the things that was challenging also, to be like, you know, my brother played, I didn't play, you know, in the NFL. So that was kind of one of the challenging things. So I would tell athletes now, you know, find someone that's like me. You know, I have my business is called Be For You, Love Yourself. And it's really like tailored to, you know, help people understand how to love themselves. And a lot of the players now, they have so many mental health struggles when they coming out, like right out of college, and they don't know what to do. Like he said, they don't have no life after football. So it's kind of like, what do I do? They ain't got no money. Then, you know, or they got into these cars that they got to pay for and things like that. And it's kind of like they get into a struggle mode. And when you're struggling, if you ain't got like you said, a plan, you know, it's kind of like you going up the creek. You setting yourself up, and the schools don't have like you said, they don't have nothing set up for the players to be able to get their mental health right, man. I
think it's a little better now than when y'all were playing. But it's still not.
It's not.
They got sports psychiatrists on hand, like in the building.
But who uses it? Nobody. No, they're not.
They know what I know. They better use that.
But they got players. You know, they got players that's supposed to be these personnel players, like
player personnel
development. But they're not really trying to. You know, they paying these people $200,000-$300,000 to be paid. They get paid, but you know they
not giving them the real.
They don't really have a real. That's the only thing I ever wanted to do at Carolina, was to be in a position like that, not for the money, but to create a team at Carolina. You know, of those who care about mental health, and because I seen what happened to my 2 teammates, so that was my only thing. People think I want to go back and be a coach. Nah, I want to go back and set up a you know, a foundation for players to be able to, you know, to have something that they can come back to when they need a job, or when they need, you know, assistance is for their mental health when they struggling and stuff like that. So that's always been what I would say players need to get into.
What would be the biggest thing that you would do different?
For me, I think my body was just breaking down once I got to Chicago, just because I didn't take no rest. Like when I was in Clemson, man, as soon as football season was over, I go straight into track season. No time. I'm talking about straight. I remember one spring, I pulled some Dion type shit. I caught a touchdown in the spring game. They shuttled me to the track because we had a home track meet there.
Wow.
Shuttled me to the track. I ran the 100, ran the 200, shuttled me back to the spring game. I finished at the spring game.
Wow.
I did stuff like that for 3 years at Clemson. Once I wasn't injured like that at Clemson.
One of the best track athletes in Clemson.
Yeah, I was an All-American. So, 10:22, 20.6 was my time, and I was one of the fast. I was the fastest college football player in the nation when I was playing college football. I had the top 25 fastest time in the world when I was running. So
I already see it on your face. You about to bring up the race.
talking about that high school race.
You know about it?
I thought you were talking about our race.
Oh no,
Probably the most unathletic thing I've ever done.
Our race is about.
I think I seen that. I think I see that.
That wasn't you.
I was drunk.
That's what you gonna blame it on?
Oh, yeah.
I was drunk. And I feel like I
Kyle
could
like baby deer running.
I twisted my
We were at
ankle,
least
too.
8 shots in.
Dang.
But I ran about 9.440, and I won.
I saw that episode.
I did see that.
I saw that.
Oh, that's
I
my
didn't-
worst.
no,
I
I
hate
didn't
that
realize
episode
that
the
was
most.
you.
Yeah, that was
The episode is nuts, but the race clip is my favorite
Wow.
clip. of all
Yeah,
time.
I remember
So
that.
no, I wasn't bringing up our race. I was gonna
Okay.
bring up your race in high school. Yeah,
High school state
I'll let you
track
tell the
meet.
story.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you
shit
did
it on
mention.
yourself there too, or
No, I didn't do
Okay,
that.
okay.
Not doing no racing.
His
Hell no.
bowels were fine. dude.
Right, I was good to go.
His balance wasn't.
I
but-
had that pregame. No, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with my balance. Darn, we was 4A state track meet, Spring Valley High School. I remember we was running, get ready to get in the blocks. The kid before me, 3A, his blocks. I remember when he was practicing on the starts, they were slipping. And I'm thinking in my head, I was like, I know I'm faster than this kid. His block's doing this. I know my block's going to slip from up under me. So I remember it was time for us to run 4A, and I got up there, I asked the judge, I was like, hey, can I get somebody to hold my blocks? No. But he had let the kid prior to me let somebody hold his blocks. I was like, all right, cool. That's how we go play it. Rival high school. I was like, it is what it is. I know what it is. So I get down there, I'm practicing on my start. Blocks are sticking. No problem. Time that gun go up, set, shoot the gun off, blocks fly from up under me. I fall right on my face. I get up, I look at him, I look at him like this. He shook his head. I took off running. I ran everybody down. They was like 15, 20 meters down the track.
Oh, and you won?
Oh,
Yeah,
he
I
won.
won.
Yeah.
He won the state championship.
Yeah, state championship
That's
my
big.
senior year.
Yeah, he won,
my
he
senior
won.
year. I fell
Yeah.
flat on my face.
That's how fast he was.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm mad that like I don't get to see that type of athleticism now. Like I really feel like I missed a great era of just sports in general, like football, basketball, like all that shit.
Nah,
I
it was
still
some
think
dope.
I
there's
like a
great
little,
sports
I
out
like a
there,
little fight
but
every now and then.
It
so.
is. Sports is
Yeah.
great. I mean,
Sports
we
is
get,
good.
get
It's
to
just
see
everything is social media
Yeah.
clipped
Yeah.
and
we ain't have social media.
Nah,
yeah,
we
you
did.
just
We
it's
had-
all you could enjoy
we had
was
VAs,
sports.
you know what I'm saying? We had a little
We
video
had
camera.
tape. We had
Yeah.
like videotape
Yeah.
and stuff,
Oh, I
like
remember
VCR
the
tape.
videos,
Right. You know,
I,
You got
I, I take games to go
You
back
gotta
and watch
literally hit
it.
rewind on the
Yeah.
thing and rewind and go find the clip. You can't just slide the
And there
little
was no
over
quick footage. You couldn't like put it at four on the rewind. You had to like go. Yeah.
None of that.
You had
bro.
to sit for 10 minutes waiting to go all
Yeah,
the way
wait
back
to go
to the
back.
beginning.
Yeah.
Nah, just record over what you ain't wanted to see.
Oh,
no
yeah,
more.
you had to-
Like, bummer, I'm gonna
Yeah,
use this
so you
again.
ran out of tape,
Yeah,
so you had to
you-
tape over some shit.
Tape over this. I don't care
Dub
about
the
this.
tape, they call it.
Do y'all feel like y'all would be like more healthier during the season? Like if y'all had like the cryo chambers. In
Oh
there?
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, say
I-
the science,
yeah.
all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got right as I was getting out of Clemson, they had brought a nutritionist in. She started
Yeah.
working with us like towards the end of my junior
Wow,
year.
yeah, that was
So
a big
different stuff.
thing.
Like man, I ate. I ate like crap. Like
Crap.
like Chavs ate them at that McDonald's. He
Yeah.
won't. Man, before practice high school, I go right down the street to McDonald's.
school,
right
college.
there.
2 darn double cheeseburgers, a 20-piece nugget. No sauce. Eat
Chick-fil-A?
that joint right before
Oh
practice.
man, yeah.
Same way in college, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I hadn't ate all day. I might have grabbed a little, you know what I'm saying, them little PB&Js, the Uncrustables that they had.
Yeah, I ain't
leave out the
had
weight
that.
room. I filled them up with my book bag, go to class. That was all I had and I ate. Hit Hardee's on the way. They had those like little sliders. I get like 6 of those, eat those in the meeting, and I go out to practice.
Jesus, you were fast.
Hey, but I had like 2.3% body fat. So it didn't bother me.
The other
I
thing,
was fat.
That's embarrassing.
No,
I think
I
mine is
ate
at like
and-
50 right now.
I ate everything. I mean,
Everything,
you know,
dog.
like
Tablet was
where I'm
crazy.
from ain't no fast food restaurants or nothing. We
You
don't
ate
yeah.
good.
So
That
you
home
know,
cooking.
yeah, everything was home cooked. So
Yeah.
you know, to get to college and I could walk in line and get Burger King. That was getting Burger King to me growing up as a kid. That was like
That was a luxury. That was a treat.
That was a luxury. Yeah,
That was a
then
treat,
Chick-fil-A, I ain't know nothing about Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
So, you know, get there, I could grab me 2 12 pieces, go get a pizza. I'm like, man, I'm going back to the room. I'm eating everything. Yeah, so I went from 190 up to 220 quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happened, bro.
It was gonna move you to defensive end.
Yeah, they're about to. Move me to linebacker.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Okay. We got anything else to add on the sports,
Come on with it.
on the career
No,
topics?
I'm gonna smooth introduce y'all to the predictions. This is where I'm really gonna
Uh-oh,
shut
the
the fuck up
predictions.
and let y'all have it.
Yeah, come on.
Airese said he don't even have.
I don't have no
predictions.
NFL predictions.
Yeah,
I don't have no
college
NFL. I
I
got a
NFL
life. I be
predictions.
honest. People
got
think
NFL
because I
predictions.
played
Niners.
the Niners.
All the way.
All right, hold
That's who gonna win it all.
Yeah.
I won't say. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville.
You
Well,
going with
who?
Jacksonville?
Damn
Okay.
right,
Man, come on.
man. Watch.
Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence. That's
Jack-
why.
that's why,
They,
'cause of Trevor Lawrence?
They ain't got nothing to do with
They
Trevor.
got
Just what they got.
ETN,
ETN. They got a squad.
got
man.
an easy conference,
They got
easy
a squad.
division.
Yeah, not
not
quite.
conference.
They
Division.
got a squad. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville, bro.
I think the
NFL?
NFL.
Gonna make a
I think the Eagles gonna win the Super Bowl.
Nah.
I think the Eagles gonna beat the Bengals in the Super
That's a
Bowl.
good prediction.
I mean, they runner up last year. They returned most everybody. Defense is loaded. I think the 49ers are about the only team in the NFC that could give them a
Yeah,
run.
of course.
Yeah.
We
So-
would have beat them. We would have beat them if if we didn't have had the quarterback injury.
I mean, you taking
know.
Brock Purdy first in our fantasy draft,
Yeah, I
so I
sure
already,
did.
I already-
Yeah, you're right. I'm a Niner fan, so you know, I mean, but our defense is too good.
the
Man.
defense is loaded. I do
Defense
think
is
I
loaded.
think that's the biggest challenger in the NFC. We hate the Cowboys.
Oh, I was
The
gonna. That's my
Cowboys.
prediction. The Cowboys just.
You going with the Cowboys?
I am. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys every year until they do it.
You a Cowboys fan?
Yeah,
I'm a
that'll never
supporter.
happen.
I really
What does
love
that
how
mean?
much people hate Dallas, and that just makes me love them even more.
I used to be a Cowboys fan growing up.
That's
Yeah.
because Cowboys
I'm a
is
Bears
it's
fan,
America's team, so you know.
That's because they was
Yeah.
doing it back
Back-
in the day.
back in the day.
Oh yeah, not while I was alive,
Yeah,
but
self-proclaimed.
They was doing it back in the day. They
Yeah, so
was
you know, you
America's
probably
team.
was. Yeah, you probably wasn't even born.
I'm talking
when-
about Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman.
Yeah, she wasn't
You know what
alive
I'm
when they
saying?
won anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
they was
not yet.
when Jimmy
so
Jimmy Smith
this
was
year
there.
will be the year.
They better
We're
not.
gonna see. Dak could trick it off for him.
Yeah,
He'll do
yeah,
something.
that could be out of there in no
Yeah,
time.
he'll do something down, dog.
I think the AFC's loaded though. I think there's a lot more talent. I think there's only 2 or 3 really good teams in the NFC. I think the AFC's got like
AFC,
8 or 9.
yeah.
So
Buffalo,
I mean, the
all
Chiefs, Buffalo,
Buffalo.
Jacksonville,
That just is tough.
Miami's got a solid team.
Yeah.
Yep, forgot about
Baltimore's got
Yeah.
Lamar back.
Miami.
Hey,
Uh,
Steelers looking nice.
Steelers.
Steelers
Man,
gonna
Steelers
finish.
ain't gonna
Yeah,
do
Steelers
nothing.
Steelers
are
ain't
gonna
gonna
finish
do
last.
that.
Steelers
They
gonna
gonna
finish
do
last
that,
in that
man.
division.
They ain't
Cleveland, my
about to
boy
do that.
Deshaun's back. Cleveland's gonna beat the
Nothing.
Steelers.
Cleveland ain't gonna do nothing.
Nothing.
It's just the culture, man.
But,
I don't care
uh,
how what type of
The
pieces they
Jets
put
got
around. there.
Aaron Rodgers now.
It's New
I
York.
still think
He
they're
ain't
gonna
do
go out.
nothing in New
I
York.
think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they'll go out first round. I just think the AFC is more loaded in general.
It is.
Oh, definitely.
But I think the Eagles win the Super Bowl over the Bengals. That's my prediction.
Over the Bengals?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't say the Chiefs keep going back. I mean,
That's
it's hard to
a-
bet against
Yeah.
Pat, but I can't see
I can see Pat being MVP though.
Again.
Yeah,
again.
I could never see that.
I'm
So
gonna give
who
it-
would be y'all? Yeah, who would be your NFL
MVP, Patrick
prediction?
Mahomes.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with Jackson this year, man. I
Lamar?
think I think Lamar with the weapons that he has
He
around
has
him,
weapons.
and the offensive coordinator with them getting Georgia's coach.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna create him.
I think that's a good
recreate
pick.
him.
I mean, I don't want to pick Patrick because he's the obvious choice. So I want Allen's up there, Burrow's up there, but I'm gonna go with my boy Trevor Lawrence because I think
Okay.
he's got the weapons. He's got a lot.
He does have weapons.
Calvin Ridley's
Yeah,
there
he does
now.
have them,
Evan Ingram re-signed. ETN's healthy. They got weapons all galore around them. The
And he's
division.
finally understanding the speed of
It's
the
his
game.
third year. He
Yeah.
played great at the end of last
Yeah.
year, and the division's weak, so he can put up numbers in that division.
Yeah.
So I don't think they win a Super Bowl, but I think they're gonna have a big year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But obviously, Hurts, Mahomes, all of them will be in the conversation.
Yeah.
But, What else? So that we got our NFL predictions. We ran through those quick.
Mm-hmm.
College football. What are your thoughts on South Carolina season? Where you see them?
I mean, just returning a starting quarterback, Spencer Rattler is going to be big for Carolina this year, with one of his best weapons, in Juice Wells, and the only thing I'm saying, like SEC football, even though the game has changed, you always have to have a running back.
Yeah.
And with Carolina not, signing or bringing we brought one in, but we got Jonah at running back right now.
You got a converted quarterback.
I mean,
similar
like,
story to yours.
I mean, similar story, but definitely not the same. We're definitely not the same player.
No.
Yeah, definitely not the same player.
But
But he,
no, I'm just fucking.
boy,
I'm just playing.
right. But just to see, we have had running backs right here in our state. To see them go to other states to play is kind of crazy when we don't even have a running back. So I think we're going to struggle because we're not going to have no run game. We're not going to have no run game, and you're talking about beating Tennessee and going down to Florida and definitely not beating Georgia, no chance. And then you got to play Texas A&M. I'm not seeing it this year. I mean, I could be hating. I could be hating on my own school.
You being realistic.
I'm being realistic.
You're trying to be real. You ain't being no optimist.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I see. We
playing in that
we
conference.
barely make a bowl game this year.
The first game will tell you it all.
Yeah, we
first
definitely not beating North Carolina.
The thing about South Carolina's schedule is so many. All right, you got Georgia, Tennessee, Clemson, which is obviously a tough one. I mean, obviously last year big upsets against Tennessee and Clemson that weren't expected, but those three are always going to be tough. And then there's so many toss-ups. So I mean, North Carolina could go either way. Florida, Missouri, Kentucky. Texas A&M. There's like 5 games. You got 3 or 4.
Vanderbilt has been always a toss-up. We ain't like we just beat Vanderbilt. We barely beat them every year.
So I mean, there's a lot of toss-ups in there.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think 6-6, 7-5. I think they can go 7-5.
That's what I say. 6-6.
But it's I think they're in there. I mean, obviously they could easily get to 8-4.
Yeah.
But they could also go 5-7. It just kind of depends on the toss-up. So. And the health too.
Yeah.
You lose 1 or 2 key guys and
you lose one offensive lineman, it's over.
Yeah. But I do like some of the talent they brought in. Y'all were talking about Lenore Sellers earlier. I like some of the young talent.
He's
that
a
they
dog.
He's the future of the program.
He's a guy, like they say. He's a guy.
Yeah, he's the guy.
He is a guy.
We'll see. Clemson season predictions.
I think we make it out as one out of the Power 5 conferences to be a playoff contender. How deep we go in there, playoffs, I'm not sure.
I can't see us winning the title, but I can see us making the playoffs.
Yeah.
I would see. I think 11-1 would be fair.
I think that would be fair. That loss could either come.
I don't see it.
You don't see
11?
I see 10-2 at worst.
I can see 10
at worst.
Well,
Florida State loss, possibly Notre Dame, and I don't see us. Nobody else.
I think Notre Dame will beat us. Although it's a home game. The good thing is Florida State and Notre Dame are both at home for Clemson. But
that UNC game gonna be tough.
UNC's tough.
Carolina's
played
gonna
them
be
well.
tough. Yeah.
No, the rivalry game.
It's a rivalry game.
It's a
rivalry game.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some revenge there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely don't think we'll lose to Carolina this year. If anything,
I think Florida State's got a ton of talent. I just think a lot of us being overhyped.
Carolina. We shouldn't have lost to Carolina last year. That was some coaching shit.
I don't even want to talk.
Facts.
I literally vacuumed.
It was bad coaching on both sides of the team. I mean, we was trying to get rid of our OC. Our OC sucked. You know what I'm saying? So we had bad coaching too.
It was.
I vacuumed.
Y'all coach wasn't as bad as ours though.
Well, Beamer wants to. He wants to be. Dabo. So,
we danced to go see. We did.
But we'll see. I could see anything 10-2. I think 12-0 is going to be tough just because there's so many.
Ain't nobody going undefeated this year.
Only thing I can see, Georgia can't. I don't even think Georgia's as good as they have been the last few years. But their schedule is not very tough this year. It's one of the weaker Power 5 conference schedules. You got 4 teams to put in the college football playoff?
Yeah, then Georgia's definitely going to be in there. Ohio State.
Okay.
And Texas, I think Texas is following them.
Texas.
And then you put Clemson
Really,
as the fourth.
I
Then?
think Clemson is the fourth.
Okay. And
I
then
bet-
who you got winning it all?
I'm gonna have to go with Georgia, man.
Yeah, you think they three-peat?
I think I'm gonna have to go Georgia. All right, all right. I forgot about them. We was talking to a buddy of mine on the podcast the other day. LSU, man. I can see LSU.
Yeah,
might make some noise this
LSU
year,
tough.
man.
Yeah. I mean, crazy. You make a list. I mean, I'm never gonna count Bama out.
Oh
But,
yeah,
you know,
you never
can't
count
yeah,
Bama.
you know,
out.
Bama, you never count them out.
Yeah.
But Georgia definitely will probably repeat.
Yeah.
What triple Pete?
I just have a hard time seeing them do 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Well, they I mean, their defense is going to be better this year.
Defense,
The defense is going to be better this year.
And they got Bowers back.
You returning, your receiving core. You returning your leading, tight end, running backs is never going to be a shortage at Georgia.
Not at Georgia.
You know, so
offensive line
is revamped. So.
I could see. It's so hard to three-peat.
It
It's
is
hard.
hard.
It's hard to two-peat. And I mean, hell, they had a missed field goal and a busted coverage from losing to Ohio State last year. So it's just
true.
It's hard to repeat. I think this is the most open year we've had in a long time because all the big schools are
reloaded.
Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Georgia, all 4 breaking in new quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So you don't know exactly what to expect.
Yeah.
USC, Southern Cal's returning the Heisman Trophy winner. LSU's returning the quarterback.
Forgot about them.
Right, I did.
Forgot
too.
about USC.
USC's returning quarterback. LSU's returning quarterback. Florida State's returning quarterback. Notre Dame's got
Hartman.
Got Hartman from
Don't
Wake
forget
Forest.
about Washington.
That's my
Penix.
that's my
That's
my sneaky team. They got 2 really
y'all
good
just
receivers.
gonna count Coach Prime out, right?
Man, hey, Coach Prime go 5 and 7 this year. We talking about.
I just had to throw that
No,
out
I
there.
know. I want to see him win.
I want to see him do well too.
He will.
Because he done changed the culture around already.
Yeah, he done changed the coach around just college football in general.
He walked in and told everybody.
500, they gonna be good very soon.
Yes.
If he go over 500, that's a hell of a year from where they were at last year. If they just go 5 and 7, 6 and 6, that's a hell of a year.
Yeah.
So, but he walked in and told everybody that they bag.
Got to get up out of here.
Yeah.
So I think the sport's better if he's doing well. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be an interesting year. I just think it's the last few years you've kind of known at least 2 or 3 of the playoff teams kind of going into the season.
Yeah.
I think this year there's 9 to 10 teams that could seriously make a shot at running the playoffs. So we'll see. I really don't even know who I predict to win it.
Georgia.
Go ahead and say
Don't forget
Georgia,
about
man.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee gonna cause some trouble.
Tennessee
this year.
returns, except for quarterback and receiver, they return pretty much everybody else.
They got a quarterback.
But they got a quarterback who's
The quarterback
played.
is better than the quarterback that left. So
Yeah.
I mean,
He's got a stronger arm. I
Yeah.
don't think he's accurate. I think that's what the thing about Hooker was. He was accurate.
yeah.
They say Milton can hit
Let it
you
go.
and then hit her the next
Yeah.
bit. I don't know. but I don't know. We'll see. You got Heisman Trophy predictions at all?
I ain't got no prediction on that, dog.
I'm gonna say either it's gonna either be Washington quarterback or it's gonna be a repeat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, USC quarterback.
I'll throw out a wild card and put Hartman and Notre Dame in there because I think they have a good year. So,
Yeah.
and then I'll throw just to be a little
Man,
different.
Shipley gonna be it. Man, I'm gonna give it to Shipley.
Give it to my Clemson boy.
Hey, in that new offense, he gonna be something stupid
Man.
if they use him right.
Shipley is probably
they use
out
it.
of all the running backs that I've seen in Clemson, great history of running backs. Shipley is probably the worst.
I can't argue with that.
You said the worst?
He's the worst
I guess
running
I
back
agree with that.
that I've seen over the past 20 years
I
at
can't say-
Clemson University.
No,
You can't. I mean, as a key starting running back,
He's better than
Shipley is
he's better
the
than like
worst.
Hot Rod and Gallman and stuff.
No,
Yeah, I think
He's not better than
he's
CJ
not better than
or
Wayne Gallman.
ETN.
He's still balling in the league. Shipley's not. He's not gonna get no
Shipley's
lead.
Shipley's tough, and Moffitt's tough too.
Moffitt is definitely tough.
Yeah, but this is the worst
Damn.
The worst
Yeah,
that I've ever seen in
My boy's gonna
in,
go off this year.
in
yeah.
both
He definitely gonna go
in
off.
both schools. This is the worst I've ever seen as far as running backs for Carolina and Clemson.
Yeah.
I've never seen the state have horrible running backs. We always had running backs.
Yeah.
This is the worst. Shipley is not that guy.
I gotta disagree.
He
I
is
do
not
think
McCaffrey.
I do think there's some. Oh, he's definitely not McCaffrey. I do think there's some overhype to him, but I still think he's a
He
good
just
back.
plays hard.
He plays his ass off.
Play hard is still the worst.
Play
Still the
hard,
worst.
man.
Come on now, he's not the guy.
Damn, I'm gonna have to send it to him. My
He
boy
gonna
needs
see
some
it.
motivation.
He gonna say it'll be motivation for him.
Who
Get
am
right,
I?
baby.
I mean, come on.
Get right.
We did a Heisman. I'll go just to throw off throwing a different national title pick out. I kind of don't even think they make the playoffs. I think them and Washington both go like 10-2 in conference. But if they do make the playoffs, I'm gonna go with USC. Just because they got the experience, they got the most talented quarterback in the country.
Yeah.
And they got weapons all over.
Over.
The
It's
defense
crazy.
is just not that
Defense
good.
is not that good.
Yeah.
And so, but I think there's just weapons everywhere. So I just want to be a little different.
defense wins championships. So
Defense does.
Especially
that
in college,
defense, right?
yeah.
You ain't got that
But-
defense. You count them out on
Yeah.
that.
We got anything else to add? Anything
Right.
any subjects we hadn't touched?
Nah, man. I'm just ready for football, man. You know,
Can't wait
it's
for
this dead time with baseball and nothing really going on. It's just now. This is the week.
Yeah.
This is the week to crank
We
it
gonna
up. So
see.
just ready to get it going.
Start with Utah, Florida Thursday.
Yeah, man.
Then South Carolina's almost got the showcase game.
I'd rather watch Georgia State on Thursday because I'm waiting to see what little KZ Adams. I mean, you know,
He's a dog.
I've been training him for since he was in high school at grade.
He's a beast.
Yeah, so I just want to see did both schools, Clemson and Carolina, miss out on the gym like him?
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
see if he really that. You know what he's going to do.
Any other people y'all train that you want to shout out or screw them?
No, I mean I got to watch one of them play last night in the MEAC SWAC game and a few of them, and
Yeah.
it's just just to see these guys playing is big
Yeah,
time for me.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Definitely cool.
To see them all over, man. Just over the years, as guys that you've worked with.
Yeah.
I mean, Geiger at Kentucky, safety, Anthony Wilson, and Montre.
My boy, Montre.
At West
I'm just
Virginia.
waiting on these test results to come back for this agent. So that's the next thing to try to get the sports agency rolling.
Word.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What do you have to add besides the painting and beautiful looks Friday?
And volleyball.
Volleyball, bartending.
Could you really spike you know what I'm saying? Could you?
Yeah, that's how I tore my ACL the first time. Like I went up because
For a kill shot.
no,
I don't
blocking.
believe it,
I was
though.
blocking. It was the best player in the state, Bijane Jones, was going up to hit, and I was like, well, my little ass up here because we didn't have a full team. Like it was just the six of us, and that was it. So everyone had to play all around, and I was like, well, I want to do something good today. So I got the block, but definitely tore the hell out my ACL landing. So.
Dang.
Yeah,
It was worth it. At least you did the
It
block.
was worth it. It was definitely worth it. But
That
then, yeah, the next
Yeah.
injury was at practice, and I was like, this is like the worst fucking place to.
That knee ain't
That's
never
what happened
the
to my
same
daughter.
again
Like she
after-
fractured, had two
Michael
fractures this summer, in practice, and now she's taking a year off of volleyball, which I'm like, no, but
I don't know. I
just-
didn't want to stop. I
just hope
Never
hope
too late.
Yeah, never too late. They still have little rec games and stuff.
Oh,
Club
yeah, like
teams.
demolished
Club
them, but
teams.
It's okay.
So you got it out your system.
Life out of no, I did not. If
I
I could go back, I probably would.
Just
But
just
I
get
built-
into the recs. I mean, people our age, that's what we need to do more. Just still compete, still have fun, and do stuff.
But
Man.
if I went back, I would want to give it like 100%. And my work schedule and Kyle wanting to use on my free time for podcasts, like I wouldn't be able to give it 100% like I
shots.
wanted to.
And these paintings.
Yeah, and
Puffing paint. I think the puffing and the drinking might do more than my taking up your free time.
Oh
Hey.
man, that's what's up, y'all.
But thank you to Friday, my beautiful co-host. As always, I appreciate Syvelle and Airese for pulling up. It's great getting your perspective. We're trying to expand this and not just be a drinking and taking shots and answering
on.
wild questions. Yeah, we're trying to do some.
It's entertainment, man. We
Yeah.
love it, man.
Yeah, we love the entertainment,
I
but
get
we're
a
trying
kick out
to
of it.
we're trying to build a whole network. So we're not just trying to stop there. So shout out to these guys for believing and pulling up. We appreciated the insight. Had a great time with you. And that's it for this week's edition of KB's Bar Talk. We'll be back next week where we'll try and find more beautiful and more entertaining guests, and that won't be hard to do because we got men here. We'll bring women next week.
And I'm gonna cut you off real quick. I know y'all did not make it to all the way this part of the podcast, but please like, comment, and subscribe because we forgot to say that in the beginning.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
We'll cut it and throw it in the
yeah.
beginning.
Cut it.
Okay, but that's it. Don't drink and drive unless you want to. Actually, don't drink and drive. I gotta stop saying